Hey, happy Wednesday. Wow, we're being treated to some rain today. I didn't even think it was supposed to rain. There was no rain in the forecast, but I got up this morning and it was raining, and it has continued to drizzle ever since. I guess that's fine. I'd kind of thought about getting out and mowing, doing a little bit of mowing later, but I don't think I'm going to do it now. I think it's going to have to wait. So, I'm frustrated. I was supposed to get an estimate yesterday to get that magnolia tree in my neighbor's yard trimmed so it's not in my yard anymore, because it's a big tree and a whole bunch of it is coming over into my yard and dropping leaves in my yard. And this magnolia trees, well, this particular magnolia tree, I'm not an arborist or whatever the hell tree people are called, but magnolia trees don't do their leaves like a lot of other trees do. This tree, back in, I'd say, late spring, started just dumping leaves. I mean, I think it has some kind of weird cycle, and it just started just dumping leaves in my backyard. And I was having to go out there like every other day and rake up tons and tons of leaves from just there's just a big part of it that's going over the fence into my backyard. And I was having to rake up all these leaves, and it was ridiculous. Like, what the hell? So at that time, I was thinking I thought, I wonder what it would cost to have somebody come out and just sort of like shave off the part of the tree that goes over into my yard. I mean, what would that cost? It is a very big tree. And a lot of people, if you've never had tree work done, you may not think it's very expensive. Getting any kind of tree stuff done is, well, at least here, I can't speak for every part of the world, but here, woo, it is expensive. It is so expensive to get any kind of stuff like this done. I know my mom, bless her heart, well, let me finish what I started to tell you first. So the guy, I made an appointment. There was this guy, he left some flyers in everybody's mailbox. I do tree removal. I'm going to be in your area. It's probably bullshit, but I called the number and said, I would like to get an estimate to see how much it would cost to get this magnolia tree in my neighbor's yard trimmed back off of my property. So I talked to the guy's wife, and she made the appointment. He was supposed to come yesterday at 3 o'clock. Well, I was right in the middle of making that charity video yesterday, and I got like I can go all day and nobody will call me. Let me try to make a video where I don't want to be interrupted. Everybody calls me. 3 different people called me while I was trying to make that video. None of it was important, well, except for the tree guy. The tree guy's wife called me and said, hey, my husband's on his way to your house right now. And it was like 11:45 in the morning. And I said, why? Why is he on his way to my house right now? Well, he was in the area, so he's going to come by and do that estimate for you. I said, I'm not available right now for that. We had an appointment for 3 o'clock today. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, he's on his way there now. Is that okay? I said, no, it's not. I'm not available right now. I can't do it now. I can do it at 3 like we planned. Can't do it now. Sorry. Well, he's already on his way. I said, I don't know what to tell you about that. I don't know why he's on his way to my house right now. He shouldn't be. Unless he's 3 hours away. I mean, is he down in Wilmington or something? He doesn't need to be headed this way right now. I'm not available. What the heck? What was the point of making the appointment if you're just going to show up whenever? I am so tired, and I'm so tired of so many things. I'm tired of people just assuming I'm just always free. That I can just, whenever. And I dealt with this a lot too when I was working a day job in an office. I ran into this all the time. Whenever I would try to make an appointment for anything, it always seemed to surprise people when I told them, well, I have to work. Oh, I didn't know you worked. Why would you just assume I don't work? It was so weird. Like, are you available right now? Are you at home right now? No, I'm at work. Exactly. I work too. See, we have that in common. I too am employed, and I am not available at all times. Even if I didn't work, I mean, it's still kind of weird to just assume that people are just always available. No, why would you assume that? Are you always available? Probably not. I don't know many people who are. I mean, shit, my dad's retired and he's not always available either. He's always doing something somewhere. He may be in Florida right now for all I know. He just takes off like, oh, I felt like going up to Arkansas, so yeah. Hopped in the truck and he just goes. Like, whatever. So he didn't come yesterday. Like, well, don't tell him to turn around because I'm not available. Don't come to my house now. I'm not available. So is he coming at 3? No, he can't make it then. Well, with all due respect, ma'am, then why did we make the appointment for 3? I swanny. Can I have just one thing just go right? That's why I love my electrician, and I keep saying that. Like, my electrician is so great. Whenever I need him to do anything, I just call him up. Can you come do a thing? Sure. When you want me to come do it. And we work out a time, and he come and does the thing, and I pay him, and he does a little fist bump, and it's awesome. Like, thank you. Thank you for just doing the thing and then fucking off. And you do it, and there's no problem. Everything's good. Why can't everybody just do that? I don't know. I was going to make a point. Oh, my mom, bless her heart. My mother is 83 and has never had to pay anybody to have any tree work done. Not that I know of, which is crazy because where she lives, there are lots of trees, you know, like giant trees. But anyway, she had these 3 or 4 huge trees in front of her house. And she became convinced that they were dying and needed to be cut down. I mean, she became obsessed with it. She has dementia and Alzheimer's, and people that have that sometimes will latch on to things and like they just can't stop thinking about it. And she tended to be a little bit that way before, so, and I have a tendency to obsess over things too. So I'll probably end up that way if I make it to be 83. This was back a couple of years ago. And I was over at her house one day, and she took me out there to show me. She said, these trees are dying. I know they're dying. I said, why do you think they're dying? They look fine to me. A dead limb fell off of one of them. I think that was it. A dead limb. I said, well, you know, sometimes trees have limbs that just die. It doesn't mean that the tree itself is necessarily, you know, sick or, you know, needs to come down. Just sometimes limbs fall off. No, they're dying. I know they are. They're probably rotten inside, and they could fall on my house. And anyway, she was really worried about these trees falling on her house. And they are big trees. And she said, oh, I know, but it's going to be so expensive. And she was standing next to this tree. I swear to God, this massive tree. She looked at me. She goes, you know, I bet it cost $100 to get this tree cut down. Honey, if you could find somebody to do that for $100, send them my way because I got some work for them. I'll even buy them dinner. Holy hell. Multiply that by about 15 and that's a little closer to what it would actually cost. 100. She's all wide-eyed. I bet it'd be $100. You wish. Train tracks. I went over them faster than the Mustang. That's because I'm a badass. Nobody knows it, but I am. We all know your sound effects are fake. That's not real. It doesn't actually make that noise. If you remove the sound effects, it would sound more like an 84 Ford Escort. Because it's a dork. It just pretends to be like an awesome car, but it's sound effects that make them sound like that. Which is really sad. Anyway, yeah, I told my mom, like, no, $100, no. It will probably be a bit more than $100 to have this tree cut down. You think so? Really? Yeah, be a little bit more than $100. This thing is fucking massive. You know, but I had some tree work done at my house not long after I bought the house. What I have done? I had a not very big crepe myrtle cut down because this was not a big tree. I had a pretty small, somebody planted a crepe myrtle like a foot away from the corner of my house. I don't know why they did that, but it was growing all up on the house. I had to get it cut down. And now, granted, I am in the big city, so maybe people charge more here, but there is more competition for tree companies here. Had a crepe myrtle cut. It might have been that big around. I had a small maple tree in my yard cut down. I didn't have the stump ground down or anything, just had it cut down, and had another crepe myrtle pruned back that was on the other side of my house. And just to have that little bit of work done was like $550. Oh, I meant to turn right here, actually. I gotta go to the post office. Yeah, that little bit of work was $550. And that was about what everybody was quoting at least $500 to do that. I went with this company because somebody recommended them to me, and they charged me $550. And they did a good job. I mean, they did what I wanted them to do. It was good work. But yeah, $100 to cut that big ass tree. Yeah, let me know if you find somebody that'll do it for $100. Shit, I'll come pick them up personally and bring them to my house. I got work for them. So, yeah, I would estimate, and I don't know. And I don't know when that guy's coming. So I talked to his wife yesterday, and she said, well, can he come tomorrow? I said, I guess. What time? Oh, I don't know. It'll just be sometime tomorrow. Is that okay? Are you free tomorrow? I'm like, well, no, I'm not. But if I had some general idea of when he could, he wants to come by, I can make sure I'm there. Well, I don't know. Okay, we're not starting off on a good foot here. We're really not. I'm going to go back to the company that did my FU trees in the backyard. They did a really good job. I may just call them. If these people can't get their shit together, I may just have to call them. You're not all the way in the parking spot. You're not even in a parking space. What the hell is wrong with people? They just park. They're just parked. Their ass end just sticking out in the road. What the hell's wrong with people? So, yeah, sometime today. Well, what time? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, all right. That's strike two, honey. How hard is it to make arrangements to go to somebody's house and then go there? Why is this difficult? Anyway, I'll talk to the guy if he ever shows up, but if I get a phone call right now and the guy's like, I'm sitting at your house, why are you not here? I'll just say, you know what, just leave. I don't want an estimate from you. I don't want an estimate from you. This is ridiculous. Back when I was pregnant with my younger son, I dealt with that a lot. Working full-time. And I would go in for my prenatal checkups and everything. And every single time I tried to schedule my next appointment, the receptionist would say the same thing every time. So just any time's good for you? No, it's not. Oh, okay. I work. Oh, I didn't know you worked. And I got to where I would literally just repeat it back as she said it. Oh, I didn't know you worked. Yes, I work. I'm in here all the time for my prenatal appointment. I know you see a lot of people in here all the time, but yes, I work. I have a job. Like, I have to work every day, full time. I'm not available to just come in here whatever time suits you. And every time we have the same conversation. I don't know, it's just weird. Although it does seem like a lot of people just do have a lot of free time. Have you ever seen, and I don't know if it's like this where you live, but around here, if you go by any school, it doesn't matter, elementary school, middle school, high school, around, starting within about an hour of dismissal, the end of the day, there will be dozens and dozens and dozens of cars lined up to pick their kids up. And some of these cars have 2 or 3 adults in them. I know at my younger son, I went to pick him up for a dentist appointment the other day, and it was more than an hour before school was, before dismissal. I counted, there were a dozen cars already in line to pick kids up. And some of these cars had, like I say, 2 or 3 adults sitting in the cars. And it amazes me. And I guess with a lot of people working from home now, they have a more flexible schedule. But even back before people worked at home so much, I'm talking like 10 years ago, I saw it then. Tons of people waiting to pick their kids up. And it was just weird to me. You know, if I had to get there early to pick them up really the only time I ever got there to pick them up early was when they had early dismissal, or I had a kid with an appointment and I had to get off work and take them to an appointment. But it was just, and I'm not talking shit about anybody. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just making an observation. Are we allowed to still make observations about things? Is that not okay? I've just noticed that, like, and I understand everybody has different circumstances. I'm not saying they don't, but it was just amazing to me that there'd be at my kids' elementary school, there'd be 100 cars in the car rider line waiting to pick up kids every single day. And it just, I don't know. I mean, I just want to go knock on the window. And again, I know this doesn't apply to everybody, but I just want to go knock on their window and go, I don't know if you know this, they have these yellow things that will actually, like, your kid gets in the yellow thing and it will bring your kid right to your house. I think they're called school buses. I think that's right. They have these things called school buses that will just bring the kid right to your house. And some of these people are sitting in that car rider line for over an hour every day to pick their kid up. And I'm just looking at it like, again, no judgment. I understand everybody has different reasons for what they do. But just imagine what you could do with that hour. That's a minimum of 5 hours a week. Just sitting there I get it. I'm doing that right now. Just sitting there. Just what could you do with that time? And maybe they are doing something. Maybe they're sitting there studying something, or, working on something. Maybe they are. I don't know. Some of them I notice pull up and just go to sleep. Like, they'll just turn the car off and they put a pillow right here and they just go to sleep. I have never, up until 2 years ago, I was never in a position to do that for my kids. And it's just, I just notice things and I find it to be intriguing. And I really had to fight the urge to go knock on these people's windows and just say, why do you do this? And how are you able to do this? Do you work third shift? I mean, maybe so. Maybe these people work like late shifts or something, but it's every day. I mean, it is just, and I thought about how much gas is just being burned up, because a lot of these people pull up and they don't shut their car off, especially if it's hot or really cold, so they can leave the heat or the air on. You're sitting there with your car idling for an hour or half hour or whatever, 5 days a week, the entire school year. I have so many questions. I have so many questions about it. Maybe they live in an area where they can't have a bus take their kid home, but I would think that would be rare. I mean, I'm just thinking about here. Even when I grew up in a very rural area, and everybody had a bus that came by their house. I mean, nobody lived in an area where buses were not available. Even out in the boondocks where I grew up, a very poor rural county, not a lot of money. It was not a wealthy area by any means. Sparsely populated, geographically a very large county, very spread out. But we all had, if you had a child anywhere in this county, the bus would pick them up and drop them off, no problem. I don't know. I have a lot of questions, and I just wondered if anybody else sees that in their area. Maybe it's just here. I don't know. Maybe it's just here. But when I lived in another part of North Carolina for a while, I saw it there too. And I'm just curious. Like, how and why? I have questions. And maybe it's none of my business, but why does it have to be my business for me to notice something and be curious about it? I'm just curious. So, I've also always been curious, why do old men jingle change in their pockets? Why do you do that? Why do you jingle change in your pockets like that? You just do it nonstop. Jingle, jingle, jingle. Please stop doing that. It's really annoying. I don't know. I just notice things and I just wonder why. Human behavior is just so interesting, and I just wonder why people do the things they do. I don't know. But I am at the post office. I'm going to drop off a package, and then I have to go to Aldi because my boys have consumed all of my water bottles, all my little bottles of water. They just drunk them all up. I have like one left. So I'm here to get water bottles and apples. I'm almost out of apples. So I hope your Wednesday is going well. It's very cloudy. It's not cold though. It's actually almost 60 degrees. I mean, it actually feels pretty good outside. It feels nice. So yeah, I hope your day is going well. And I don't really have anything exciting. I don't know what kind of video I'm going to do today. I haven't even thought about it. Got to figure out something, but man, I don't know. But yeah, I hope your day is going well, and happy Wednesday. And I guess I'm gonna go to the post office. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you again soon.